everyone, welcome to another academic video. This week it's all about university exam marking. Now, when I was an undergraduate student, I'm pretty sure that after I handed in my exam papers, I didn't then really think at all about the course tutor or the academic who's going to have to mark my work. I think I just forgot about the exam and got on to the next examination or enjoying some free time. But these days I find myself as a university lecturer, and with that comes marking responsibilities. Now, it's going to depend, I think, on your subject as to the best strategy for how you tackle marking exam scripts. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Caroline. I'm a physics-based lecturer. So when I'm talking about my exam marking, I'm talking about marking undergraduate physics papers. Now that means for me, I quite often face a numerical type set of solutions to mark. You know, physics, it's lots of equations, numbers, there might be some derivations, there may be some short pieces of written work in answers, but I'm not facing maybe your typical longer essays. Now that is true of my discipline within physics. It's not true of all disciplines within physics. Some subjects will have longer essay-based format answers and questions, and depending on which university subject you're teaching, that will depend on, I guess, the type of exam solutions you're going to be facing. However, I think there are some maybe common top tips or useful things to consider that goes across all the different subject disciplines. In a previous video, I chatted a bit about how we actually write exams at university. And, it is a complicated process. We have to go through internal checks, external checks, and part of that, we will be developing a marking rubric to go alongside the exam paper. So I make sure I have that to hand. I make sure that I'm in a nice, quiet, comfortable environment. I make sure I have all the tools that I'm going to need, be that, a stylus to do things electronically on my touchscreen laptop, or I make sure I've got the calculator and pens if I'm going to be using those things. I just basically make sure that I've got everything ready to go. Then, when I open the exam paper and the exam set of solutions that come in from the students, when I open those solutions up, it doesn't matter whether I'm looking at a physical hard copy, so where the students have undertaken their exam in a hall and they've turned in like a physical solutions booklet, or whether I'm looking at an online electronic set of answers where students have maybe taken the exam remotely and scanned in their answer set. I do the same first thing is when I open a student set of solutions, I give it a quick scan through from start to finish, just to see if the student has tackled any of the questions at the start at the end of their solution booklet. Sometimes we'll start a question, number 1, and go, oh, that's a bit difficult. We'll move on to maybe 2, 3, 4. And then if we have time at the end of the exam, we might go back and give number 1 a go again. So I'd just like to make sure that I've had a quick look to see if I've got any students that's answered exam solutions, but in different order within their exam answer booklet. And then I think this is very personal, whether you then mark all the questions for every student and then go on to the next student to mark all of their question answers, or whether you actually go through question 1 for all of the students and then question 2 for all of the students and go like that all throughout the exam solutions. I have tried both methods. I've tried marking it student per student, but I think I am quicker and more effective if I mark one question at a time. So I'll take the first question, I'll go through all of my student solutions, and I'll grade all of their work on that first question, and then I'll go on to question number 2, question number 3, and question number 4, etc. I just find that if I'm only having to hold one question answer in my head, I can be quicker. I'm marking the same answer over and over. I know exactly what I'm looking for in that particular solution. I think I get quicker if I'm only having to remember one solution, one answer, and then I can move on to the next question and then the next question. But let me know in the comments, do you have a preference on tackling all the question answers for one student, or do you also like to do it question by question for all students? And that, I guess, might depend on your subject, whether you are doing a numerical analytical type answer or whether you are marking longer form essay type answers. So I will do a certain number of examination solution booklets or questions, and then I will stop and I will force myself to take a break, have a cup of tea, and then I'll come back and I'll do the next set. And I do that on purpose. It's very important as the marking tutor that I am engaged and marking all of the students' work accurately and fairly. And so if I do them in these short batches, I can ensure that I am giving each piece of work, each solution, the time and the effort that it deserves. So I do that, and that means also therefore that I choose my marking time in the day very wisely. Quite often I'll mark first thing in the morning or early afternoon. Obviously you're going to be reading students' handwriting in quite a lot of cases. So, sometimes you have to take a bit of time to make sure that you're fully understanding what the solution is that the student's written, to make sure you can see all their different notes and points. So yeah, it takes sometimes a little bit of time to mark, depending on how, I guess, the student has laid out their answer. And that's a top tip for students taking your exams. Think about your examiner who's marking your work. Make it easy for them to follow which solution goes with which question, and to make your work legible and easy for that examiner to read it and to mark it. What else do I do? I think that's probably about it, to be honest. And I try not to sit on my marking for too long. So when an examination gets completed, I like to get the marking done and kind of organised and ready for its final checks without wasting too much time. So I like to get my marking, I guess, not over and done with, but I like to get my marking completed in a timely manner. So I would love to know if you are a tutor and you are having to mark exam scripts or solutions at the moment. How do you tackle it? Do you enjoy marking exam scripts? Do you find it quite stressful? It can be stressful, I think, when you've got a lot of exam scripts to mark. In my first year class, I can have anywhere between 70 and 100 odd exam solution booklets coming in for marking. So, there's no getting around it. This does take up quite a bit of time in my exam period every semester. But let me know, do you enjoy marking, or is it something maybe that you dread each year, but you get it over and done with because it's part of the job? But yeah, in the meantime, take care of yourselves. I hope things are going well, whether you're working at a university, maybe you're doing something else and thinking about returning back to academia. Every Monday I'll be posting up a new academic video. So until then, stay safe and I'll see you next week. Bye.